Hi everybody, welcome back or welcome to the channel. This is your boy Reactee. Today we're watching a Mind Junkies video for Fright Night Friday. I forget what it was called. Let's look up here in your corner. 12 scary videos that are truly disturbing. Hopefully we can get through this without the computer messing up. It's been doing some weird stuff this morning, so I'm not sure if we're going to make it or not, but we'll try.
Some doors should never be opened, and some spirits should never be summoned. This footage comes from TikTok user who usually posts card reading videos for her followers. During one particular live stream, she decided to attempt something far more dangerous, a spiritual seance.
Tarot card readings are pretty simple. Nothing too dramatic or magical about them. My younger sister does some for the business she runs. I've never seen anyone have issues with it, but doing a seance is a completely different thing. Don't get the two confused ever. And seances generally should be done by people versed in that spiritual aspect. Just normal people doing seances generally seems to be a bad idea, going by movies. So seances not good.
Contact someone from beyond. What started as an online session with another woman quickly spiraled into something neither of them were prepared for. The seance began like many others, with requests for the spirit to make its presence known. But when Chilolo Directos asked the entity to open a door, she got exactly what she asked for.
Ahora se abre la puerta.
¿Dónde está la puerta? ¿Se ve la puerta?
Sí.
Ábrete, ábrete. Ábrete puerta. Ábrete puerta. Que se abra la puerta. Que se abra.
No consigo.
Ay, tu madre, joder. No me toquéis, que estoy protegida, ¿eh? No me toquéis, que estoy protegida. No vale, ya abro la luz, tío.
Slowly but deliberately, the door begins to open on its own. Both women are visibly shaken by what they're witnessing. This wasn't supposed to actually work.
No me toquéis, que estoy protegida.
Chilolo Directos says, but her voice betrays her growing fear. Rather than ending the session there, she makes the mistake of continuing.
¿Te puedes poner delante del espejo, por favor? ¿Te puedes poner delante del espejo, por favor? ¿Estás enfadado? ¿Te puedes poner delante del espejo, por favor? ¿Te puedes poner delante? Venga, ponte delante del espejo, te quiero ver. Yo... Puta, me caigo.
Hostia, échale, cuidado.
Hostia.
After witnessing these manifestations, Chilolo Directos finally decides to end the broadcast. But many of her viewers believe she may have contacted something demonic, something that doesn't simply leave when asked. But what do you think happened here? Did Chilolo Directos summon something on this live stream? And more importantly, did he really leave when the session ended?
You did that on a live stream? That is ballsy. Wow. That's incredible. Now, we don't know if there was other people in the house, if that was set up. Opening the door would have been... You might have heard something, or someone do that, because they would have had to move away pretty quickly. Closing the door would have been easier. Definitely fishing line or something like that could have done that. So that's a little hard to believe. I mean, without knowing who was in the rest of the house, or where they were, or if she was alone, or anything like that, it's really hard to tell. But yeah, that's a little sketchy. And from everything I've seen in like movies and reading old books and stuff, seen and read, you can't really ask the spirits to do anything unless you know their name. So her asking the spirit to stand in front of the mirror was never going to happen because you didn't know the spirit's name. But yeah, apparently you can command spirits if you know their name. Generally, they won't tell you their name, or they'll give you a fake name, and just to tease you or play with you, because some spirits are like that.
This next series of videos come from TikTok user Eliza1818, and what started as a simple holiday stay turned into something that defies explanation. According to Eliza's caption, she was walking through the hotel corridors when she noticed a man following her. Feeling uncomfortable, she decided to pretend she was on a FaceTime call, hoping this would deter him from approaching. But then, she heard footsteps running in her direction, and pure panic.
I think we've seen this before, because not only is it look like somebody's stalking her, it also looks like there's supernatural stuff going on in the background. Like there's one scene where someone's cleaning way down the hall, and right in front of the elevators there's a shadow moves past the camera, the security camera, but there's no one there to make the shadow, so that's a little weird. But I think we've seen this one before.
Set in.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we have. Then she jumps in the elevator, does some weird looking around, and then takes off again. And then I don't know who did it last, but they compared it to a similar case in California where the lady who did it disappeared and they haven't seen her. Or no, wait, I think they found her body later. But yeah, these are weird.
Eliza bursts into a frantic run through the hotel hallways. She screams as she flees down the corridor, but when you watch the footage, there's no one chasing her. The hallways behind her are completely empty. A hotel employee named Forever Flow later reviewed the security footage from that night. The CCTV shows Eliza reaching the elevator. Desperately trying to escape, she gets inside and frantically presses the buttons, but something strange happens.
Y'all, so here's video of that girl that posted, and I'm gonna let y'all know now, it gets really weird. It's like she acting like she's running from something or hiding from something, but there's literally nobody else in the frame. Like she tweaking.
Yeah, it is weird.
And the elevator door is not even closing. Like she playing hide and seek or something. But look, this ain't even the craziest thing. Like now the elevator door is closed. But this ain't even the craziest thing about this video though. I got like more video to show y'all, and it just gets super weird. So y'all just stay tuned.
The elevator doors won't close while she's standing there. Only when she steps back out do the doors finally shut. While examining more footage, the hotel employee witnesses something bizarre.
Okay, here's the shadow part that I was telling you about. This is also the video where this hotel employee went up to this lady's room because she just left everything there. And they walk in and they found this weird shaped wire that you can slide underneath hotel room doors to open them from the inside, so you don't need the key. Yeah, this is crazy. These stories are crazy.
And y'all think that's crazy? Why keep watching like right by that door right there, by that table. Keep watching right over by there. The whole time I'm thinking somebody following her. So we trying to go over the film and just keep watching. Look. My hand is shaking. Right there.
What is that?
What the heck? Bro, that's a rock from that table right there. Those are stones and those in bowls right there by that table. And that one of them stones just fell on the floor.
And there's no way that should happen because there's no wind.
Yeah, there's no wind. It's a rock. And it's, what, 3 feet away? It didn't fall. It was thrown. Because if it had fallen, it would have been, like, down here. But this is out in the middle of the hall, like 2-3 feet away. That's crazy.
Wind ain't even gonna do that, though. This is crazy, yo.
A decorative rock suddenly falls from a table in the lobby, rolling across the floor. But how? There's no wind and nothing that could explain why it moved. When they check Eliza's room, they make a disturbing discovery.
It's like all that stuff is just left here. It's crazy. You said what? No, this shit is ridiculous. What the heck is this going in here? This is crazy.
She left all her belongings behind
That was the thing that they can use to open the door. I think he demonstrates it here in a second.
when she fled the hotel. But among her things, they find lock-picking tools, the kind used by people who break into places. Looking at the security footage one final time, the employee spots something they initially missed.
There it is. There's the shadow that isn't made by anyone. And there's a employee right down here cleaning up.
A dark shadow moving rapidly through the hallway, traveling in Eliza's direction. But the shadow appears to move independently, with no person casting it. So, what really happened that night? Was Eliza running from an invisible presence? Or is there a more complex explanation involving those lock-picking tools? This video was uploaded by TikTok user JCUCF after he and his friends made a discovery that left them questioning everything they thought they knew about the supernatural. The group was driving through the United States when they spotted an abandoned laboratory building by the side of the road. Curious about the old structure, which had apparently been used as a filming location for a popular TV series, they decided to get out and take a closer look.
No way. There is no
Told you.
way.
I thought it was crazy.
There is
It's
no
moving.
way.
I can see it. It's closing.
Shut. That guy rolling out the window. It comes from the car is started.
Stop. Did you see it?
Oh
She
my
didn't.
God.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Look, it's opening again. Wait, get on me. Get on me. Somebody record this. I am. This is paranormal experience.
There's no wind either. Like you just look at the trees right now. They're not moving at all.
Completely abandoned. No wind. There's nothing in there.
Like you look at the plants, the tree, nothing is blowing. It's just opening.
There's no explanation for that. It's also so irregular that it can't be.
It's opening. It's opening.
No, it's opening fast.
Okay. Okay.
Oh my
That's the
God.
widest it's opened.
That fast too.
What is that?
It's opening and closing.
You're gonna need some of that video.
Filming this? Okay, thank God.
That's crazy.
I need to know the history of this place.
What is that? Do you see that? Look at my phone.
There's something moving inside. No, I see it.
What is that?
I see it.
Is that a person?
Why does that looks like a person? I'm looking at JC's phone. It looks
Yeah,
like a
looks like a person.
I'm looking at his phone. It's literally a figure. back and show you guys.
Okay, well, okay, I see it. Please put the middle. I see it. It's a dark figure. It's a dark figure.
We're driving.
Oh my god.
Brakes are on.
Please. I see a dark figure moving.
Oh my god.
Through the phone screen, they spot a dark figure standing motionless inside the laboratory. The mysterious entity appears to be watching them from within the abandoned building, not moving, just silently observing their every move. Terrified by what they've seen, the group decides to leave immediately, but the question remains, what was that figure doing in the deserted laboratory, and why was the door moving on its own in the complete absence of wind? Was this the spirit of someone connected to the laboratory's past, or something else entirely guarding the abandoned facility?
Depending on the age of the laboratory, it's hard to tell if anything actually happened there that would leave it haunted. The door opening and closing on its own just because you don't feel the wind where you are. Most of these facilities have wide open spaces with paved surfaces, and that can generate its own airflow through heat convection or conduction. I forget what term it is, but there could be air on the air moving on the other side of that black building, or even air moving inside the black building. So that could be still be air. A dark figure inside, like I said, it's hard to tell. Could just be somebody standing there watching them, who's just staying there to stay out of the weather. So who knows? It's a little tough to tell from that video.
What happens when you invite something into your home and it decides to stay? This video comes from TikTok user Lexi, whose life took a dark turn after what seemed like an innocent night with friends. A few weeks earlier, Lexi and her friends had broken into an abandoned apartment building looking for thrills and maybe some social media content. They found an old Ouija board left behind by previous occupants and decided it would be fun to try contacting spirits in such a haunted.
Ouija boards, not good. And how do you know it was occupants? How do you know it wasn't other people who broke in? It's because leaving a Ouija board there, it just seems strange. Yeah, it's totally not a good idea to play with Ouija boards.
Location, what started as a game quickly became serious when the board began giving them specific answers, spelling out their names and dates, which it couldn't have known. But when they tried to end the session, the planchette wouldn't move to goodbye, no matter how hard they tried. Eventually, they just abandoned the board and left, thinking nothing more of it. But within days, Lexi began experiencing strange occurrences in her own home. Doors opening, footsteps in empty rooms, the feeling of being watched. Then one evening, while filming a routine makeup tutorial in her bedroom, something happened that made her realize she was no longer alone in the house.
Got the cutest little samples yesterday.
As Lexi applies her makeup and talks to the camera, something moves in the doorway behind her. A face briefly appears around the doorframe, watching her intently. Then it quickly ducks back out of sight when it realizes it might be seen. Since Lexi lives completely alone, there's no explanation for who or what was observing her private moment. The entity seems drawn to her daily activities, like it's studying her behavior.
Now, that could just be a person. We've seen other videos on this from other channels where there's actually been people sneaking around and living in other people's homes. That could just be an actual person in her home. That's a little creepy if it is. I mean, a couple weeks ago we saw one where there was a guy living in a crawl space in an apartment building, and he would drop down into some lady's closet and steal her clothes. So it's strange, to say the least, but not paranormal. Very creepy though, because if that's an actual person living in your apartment building, yeah, I call the cops.
Behavior and routines. This footage has convinced Lexi that something followed her home from that abandoned building and now is making itself comfortable in her space. But what do you think Lexi brought back with her that night? And why does it seem so interested in watching her every move? This clip was uploaded to Reddit by LowMdrix1. It was just an ordinary day at his mother's house. She had come home and was greeting her dog in the entryway. Nothing unusual about the moment, but when his mother later reviewed the footage to check what time she had arrived home, she noticed something moving in the background that shouldn't have been there. According to the OP, his mother was completely alone in the house at the time this was recorded. As his mother enters and greets her dog.
Yeah, we've seen this one before as well, and it still looks like the shadow should be coming from down here. It looks like it's stretched out this way, and this would be the head and shoulders crossing here, but there's clearly nothing down there, and it's too dark for that shadow to be made there. So it would have to be made over here, and the mother and the dog would at least notice something then, but yeah, that's a weird one.
A dark shadow moves slowly across the hallway floor. The shadow crosses the width of the corridor before disappearing. What makes this particularly strange is that both the woman and her dog seem completely unaware of what's happening. When LowMdrix1 shared the footage on Reddit, he mentioned they had tried repeatedly to recreate the shadow, but they couldn't replicate it. The comments...
You see the shadow crosses too, and it gets on the basket, but not this section of the wall. It just goes across, and it looks like it goes underneath the door and stops, but this part of the shadow hits this basket. That's weird.
Section in the Argos subreddit erupted with theories, many suggesting it was caused by someone walking past a light source outside. Others pointed to a passing vehicle or cloud blocking sunlight from an unseen window, but the OP insists there was no one else present and no obvious light source that could create such a shadow. He also revealed that his mother has experienced other unexplainable activity in the home, taps turning on by themselves, battery-operated candles flickering without reason, and she had seen similar shadows moving through the house on at least one other occasion. This photo was taken during what should have been a joyful, happy reunion in Indonesia. A man had travelled with his wife to visit his family, reuniting with his mothers and sisters after a long time apart. It was one of those precious moments that families treasure, everyone together again after months or years of separation. To commemorate the occasion, they decided to take a group photo, something to remember this special day. Everyone gathered together, smiling for the camera, completely unaware.
Photos catch the darndest things. I mean, often doing selfies with your family and stuff, there are pictures out there that look crazy. I've seen ones that people can't explain why it looks like their faces are melting. I've seen ones where there's been people, shadows. Some of them are things that your mind makes up, but the rest look genuine. So it's a little hard to tell from picture to picture, but generally pictures catch more than you'd think they would.
Aware that they weren't the only ones present for this family moment.
Now that is a little hard to tell. It could be the light from the camera or the phone glinting off something metal in the background. It could be a number of things. It's too dark to really tell. Yeah, I'd chalk that up to camera artifact or just something normal that they hadn't seen before.
In the foreground, the family appears happy and relaxed, posing naturally for what they thought was a simple family portrait, but in the darker area behind them, something else was captured in the frame.
Okay, brightening it up like that makes it seem a lot creepier, for sure. Almost seems like another lady with glowing eyes. The eyes shouldn't be glowing, but okay. That is officially the creepiest photo I've seen in a while.
Dark hooded figure with glowing white eyes can be seen staring directly at the family. The entity appears to be watching them intently, almost like it was drawn to this gathering of loved ones. What makes this photo particularly unsettling is that none of the family members noticed this presence while the photo was being taken. It was only later, when they reviewed the image, that they discovered that they had an uninvited guest in their family portrait. According to those present, there was no one else around who could account for this figure, and the hooded appearance with those piercing white eyes doesn't match anyone they know. The family was shocked when they finally saw what had been captured, realizing that something had been silently observing their reunion. Some believe this could be a protective ancestral spirit drawn to witness the family coming together. Others think it might be something more sinister that was attracted to the positive energy of the gathering. Was this a benevolent presence watching over the reunion, or something darker that infiltrated their moment of happiness? This security camera footage was uploaded by a woman named Caitlin after weeks of mysterious alerts from her home surveillance system. Constant motion detection notifications from her backyard camera. Every time she checked the alerts, she would review the footage, but find absolutely nothing there. No person, no animal, no obvious cause for the motion sensor to be triggered. But the notifications kept coming night after night, always from the same area of her backyard. Finally, after weeks of phantom alerts, the camera captured what had been setting off the motion detectors.
Now, if you look at everything else, it seems rather sharp, but this figure they have the arrow over is definitely blurry. When it walked past things, it blurred it. That is weird. It's weird that it set off the motion camera and it took forever for the camera to actually catch something. That is super weird. But that is... like, if it had been a small bug on the screen, maybe. But it's everything else seems sharp enough that I don't think it is that. I mean, it still could be something on the lens, but who the heck knows? It's a little hard to tell.
This is what it caught. The timestamp shows October the 27th, 2024 at 4:23 a.m. when most people would be sound asleep. In the grainy black and white footage, a misty white apparition can be seen moving across the yard. The figure appears translucent and ethereal, gliding rather than walking across the ground. It moves with a fluid motion that doesn't seem quite human, almost like it's floating just above the surface. The entity passes directly through the camera's motion detection zone, which explains why Caitlin had been receiving so many alerts. The apparition appears substantial enough to trigger the motion sensors, but translucent enough to seem otherworldly. After capturing this footage, Caitlin finally understood why her security system had been so active, but it also raised new questions about what exactly had been visiting her backyard every night. This next clip was uploaded by Adrian Gonzalez 271. Adrian worked the night shift at a warehouse facility, usually a quiet job involving routine inventory checks and organising storage areas. He's been doing this work for months without incident, just the typical tasks of moving boxes and keeping track of shipments. But on this particular night, something felt different about the storage room. As Adrian went about his usual duties, he noticed movement in his peripheral vision, something that shouldn't have been there. At first he thought it might just be another employee working late, or perhaps a shadow cast by the overhead lighting, but when he looked more carefully, he realized he was seeing something that defied explanation.
Luego que dicen que algo se aparece. No manches, ve lo que se veía. Algo se ve. ¿Qué es lo que qué se ve ahí? ¿Qué se ve? No manches, no.
At the far end of the storage room, a small face.
Child's laughter, followed by that, in a warehouse where you wouldn't think children would be, and late at night. I didn't catch a time, but I think they said it was late at night. So why is there a kid in this warehouse? It's troubling, to say the least.
He speaks out, but this isn't the face of a co-worker or security guard. Whoever or whatever it is darkness. Most unsettling are the eyes, which seem to reflect light in an otherworldly way. Adrian is left standing alone in the warehouse, trying to process what he just witnessed. Many believe Adrian captured footage of a child's spirit, perhaps someone connected to the building's history. But what do you think Adrian encountered in that storage room? This video was uploaded by Russian urban explorer Universe of Mems, whose passion for abandoned places led him to a discovery that scared the living out of him. While exploring miles deep in the remote Russian wilderness, he stumbles upon what appears to be an old abandoned complex. The location was completely isolated, hours away from the nearest town, surrounded by nothing but dense forest in every direction. The crumbling concrete structures and rusted metal gates suggest this facility has been abandoned for decades. Most people would turn back, but Universe of Mems was drawn to explore these forgotten remnants.
That looks like quite a road, and if has metal fences and gates and doors and stuff, it's probably a military installation. Probably something used during World War II or Cold War era. So yeah, a good while ago for sure. But of course, the guy does it all on his own. If something happened to him, no, we'd never get this footage. So yeah, that'd be a little weird. Urban explorers are brave guys, but most of them do it in pairs at least. I don't think I've ever seen too many do it solo because it's just too dangerous.
Hidden in the middle of nowhere, armed with just his phone camera, he decides to venture inside and document what remained of this mysterious site, and what he captured sent him running.
Здесь, ребята, жутковато, потому что здесь, куча этих волков, зверей всяких. Подходим, идем дальше, смотреть, шо, как. Вот, ребята, еще такой вот бункер. Фу, территория очень большая. Здесь будет очень тяжело найти эти шахты. Так, пошли. А вот здесь уже стрёмненько, ребята. Какие-то комнаты.
Okay. Since this is Russia, he's right. There are lots of wild animals that would take over a place like this. Generally, you wouldn't see human-sized figures there living in the dark, especially in an area so far off the beaten path. Like, he took a path, a clearly marked path from one area to another, but it looks wildly overgrown, so I'm assuming some sort of animals have moved in around there somewhere. So yeah, that would not be a safe place for people to bunk down to try to make it through the winters in Russia. So that's a hard one to explain and very creepy.
As he approaches one particular room, something makes him stop in his tracks. A dark figure suddenly appears, and Universe of Mems flees in absolute fear for his life. After this encounter, he researched the facility's history and discovered disturbing rumours about the isolated complex. Some believe the site was abandoned after tragic incidents, leaving behind spirits who never found peace. What Universe of Mems encountered may have been the guardian of this forgotten place, still protecting its secrets deep in the Russian forest. But who or what do you think he came across that day? Was this a spirit of someone connected to the facility's dark past, or something else lurking in the wilderness ruins?
I'm not sure about that one. That almost looked like somebody playing a trick on him, like holding a mannequin out just long enough for him to catch it and get scared and run away. Maybe the facility is not as isolated as he thinks. Who knows?
This video was filmed during a Victorian-themed celebration at Oakland Cemetery in Atlanta, Georgia. The event was designed to recreate the atmosphere of the 1800s, with attendees dressed in period clothing and behaving as people would have during the Victorian era. It was meant to be a fun historical reenactment, bringing the past to life in one of Atlanta's most historic burial grounds. A young man who goes by the username FickleBurke12 was filming the festivities, capturing the elaborate costumes and authentic decorations that transform the cemetery into a Victorian wonderland. He decided to turn the camera on himself to give viewers a personal tour of the celebration, but as he filmed his casual commentary, something appeared behind him that definitely wasn't part of the planned entertainment.
Look at this guy right here. Look at him. Just posing to people. I think this happens like every year around this time. It's so weird. It's like at a cemetery. And up here you have Christmas carolers. Beautiful. And then, right behind me, watch my step here. Give me 1 second.
Did you see it? When he turns the camera towards him, a face can be seen peeking out from behind a wall before quickly retreating out of sight. And at the time, the man had no idea what was behind him.
Maybe it was just some guy cosplaying as Jack the Ripper. Who knows? But that looked like a... I'm not quite sure what that building was supposed to be. Maybe a little mausoleum or something. But it could have been someone behind that building, that little stone building, and just peeked around the corner to see what was going on. Maybe heard the guy talking to himself. Who knows? It could have been anything.
This footage was captured by a driver using his phone camera, but what he recorded has left viewers around the world struggling to find a rational explanation. It was just another day in traffic, the kind of slow-moving congestion that happens in busy cities everywhere. The driver was filming the scene ahead, perhaps documenting the traffic or just killing time. But what his camera captured was something that shouldn't be possible. A man walking across the street right in front of the car ahead of him when the impossible happened.
Where the fuck did he go? Where the f did he just go?
The footage shows a pedestrian crossing the road, walking directly in front of the vehicle ahead. But as the man passes behind the car, he simply vanishes, like he was never there. The driver recording can be heard saying,
"Where the f did he just go?"
Skeptics point to possible video editing or camera tricks, but the raw reaction from the person filming suggests genuine surprise. The footage has been analysed frame by frame, but no one has been able to provide a definite explanation. So, was this an optical illusion?
We've seen one similar to this where a vehicle was going around a corner, a bike on the roof rack, and as it went, the bike seemed to have vanished as it was going past the person filming. But it turns out it just fell down because you could still see the tires. They were just sideways instead of vertical. They were horizontal. So you could still see the tire, so it just slipped and fell to the side, so you couldn't see most of it. This one's a little different because you see the guy walk past the driver right up until he should have come out where the door frame blocks the view, but he just vanishes. That's a weird one.
Created by the angle and lighting, or something far more extraordinary?
Where the f did he just go?
This final video brings us something completely different from paranormal encounters we've seen tonight. On the night of June the 15th, 2020, workers at what appears to be an airport facility witnessed something in the sky that left them questioning everything they thought they knew about our world. It was a typical night shift, but suddenly something extraordinary appeared above them that demanded immediate attention. User 4Charlie4 uploaded this footage after capturing what many are calling one of the most compelling unexplained aerial phenomena caught on camera.
What's that? An alien. What is that actually?
With the tail on it, I'd say it's a comet or meteor or something. I guess it's a meteorite now.
A bright green beam of light suddenly appears in the cloudy night sky.
Yeah, look at the tail it has. I'd say that's a meteorite. That's pretty cool that it's green. What does that make it? Copper? Mainly copper meteorite? I forget what burns green. I used to know. I don't anymore. But yeah, that looks like a meteorite.
Luminous object moves with incredible speed, streaking through the clouds like a shooting star. But this isn't the typical white or orange glow of a meteor. This is an intense, out-of-this-world green light. The witnesses can be heard reacting with amazement and confusion as they watch this phenomenon unfold. Someone asks in disbelief,
What's that?
While another voice suggests it might be extraterrestrial origin. The object maintains its bright green luminosity as it travels across the sky, defying easy explanation. Conventional aircraft don't produce this type of bright green illumination, and meteorites rarely maintain such a consistent, vibrant green glow throughout their descent. The timing and location at an airport facility adds credibility to the footage, as these workers would be familiar with normal aircraft and atmospheric events. So, what do you think these airport workers witnessed that night? Was this a rare natural phenomenon, advanced military technology, or perhaps something not of this world?
I suppose it could be a booster from a rocket as well, heading towards a body of water. I can't tell exactly where it is, so I wouldn't be able to tell you which direction it's heading. So I don't know, but it looks more like a natural phenomenon rather than supernatural.
Tell me. Thanks so much for watching. If you're up for more scary videos, check out one of these next. You're gonna love them. Oh, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.
And that'll do it for me for another Fright Night Friday. Thanks to Fearsome for another great, or not Fearsome, this is MINDJUNKIE. Thanks to MINDJUNKIE for another great video. That was awesome. If you enjoyed this, check out his channel as well. MINDJUNKIE puts out really great videos and puts it out more often than a lot of the other content creators we watch. I mean, this one was still a month old, but yeah, it's there's between this one and the newest one, I think there's about eight or nine videos. So he puts out a lot of videos. So go check him out, give him a like, subscribe. Let him know you came from this channel to check it out. So I will see you next week for another Fright Night Friday. Bye-bye.